Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Kazeel Farms. Today we're going to be working over in our fluid cow farm. I've set up 3 different ways to collect fluid from the cows. I don't like any of them. I have an idea for another that I'd like to bring you in, so here we go. As usual though, I'd like to take you around and show you what I've been doing in between episodes. To start with, let's come over here to our bees. And I've set up these extra ones over here just for like random stuff that I've found, like tropical bees, and I just haven't gotten into setting them all up yet. I was really tin hungry yesterday. I kept trying to work after I recorded the video. I kept trying to work on getting things set up and getting things rolling with the bees, but I just did not have enough tin. Tin has been like the bane of my existence for bees because all of the blank patterns require tin. A lot of these industrial apiaries, stuff like that. So in the last time you saw me, I had the genetic template for the common bees. I've since made it for the forest, the meadows, the cultivated, and the diligent. And I've set them all to operate on a redstone signal. So now they're all off. Even these guys are off now. I'm going to be sorting through these guys' genomes next to see if I can find the complete genetic template for the noble. Since it's an ignoble stock, I want to be able to remake this princess. So I'm going to be doing that off camera as well. Went around the world, found some unusual bees. Let's see, I found some wintry bees, some mystical bees, and some tropical bees. So I'll be setting all those up for their various genetic traits as well. There are some in here that I prefer more than others. So if I take this off and look at this, I want lifespan to be shortest. I want speed to be fastest. Flowering can be whatever it wants. Never sleeps. I'd like that to be true, but we don't have any bees that have that trait yet. Humidity tolerance. I'd like that to be kind of whatever the most tolerant is. Effect none, so that's a good one because there are some bees that will sting you, so like they'll damage you while they're working or whatever. That's an effect. So I'd like to take that effect and make it none for all of our bees so I don't ever get hurt. Or if there is one that's a positive effect, I'll take that. Tolerates rain, like that to be true. We don't have any bees with that. Fertility, 3 is the highest that I've seen so far. 3 may be the highest, I'm not sure. Territory, I don't think that matters. Cave dwelling doesn't matter. If that was true, I wouldn't need the sky upgrade. And then lastly, there's temperature tolerance, none. So like that tolerance, same as the humidity tolerance, to be whatever the highest whatever it can be. So those are the specific traits that I'm looking for outside of the species. So I'm making a collection of those as well. So these bees have like a pretty decent range. I think it's like 15 blocks or something. So these bees in this apiary can reach this flower over here. But as we move around this corner here, they're going to need something closer. So I did that. So in the meantime, I've been working on trying to figure out how to deal, like I said, how to deal with the fluid. I'll kind of show you the couple different things that I've come up with. First of all, this method here is not working at all. Either I don't have something set up correctly, or this is maxed out, or I don't know what exactly is going on. But this is locked up. It's full of the liquid protein, which it don't need exorbitant amounts of. And we have no way of like stopping the system from working. I have figured out a solution to that I will show you. But I'm also trying to figure out a way to do all of the things that I want to do in one block. So I want to control how much fluid is collected from the cows. Once we're over that fluid amount, I want to stop collecting fluid from that cow. I want to power the block that's collecting the fluid from the cows, and I'll also want to pull the fluids out of that block. So I set up over here just a normal, like there isn't really anything around here, right? So I don't have this powered at the moment. I don't have, I do have the external system here, the external storage block here, I'm not going to use these black hole tanks anymore. I know some of you have set up massive systems that rely on these blocks already. I'm going to change what I do, and I hope this doesn't throw everything that you're doing into a disarray. So I feel bad if that happens. But so one of the problems that I have, okay, so let's go back a little bit. So the first solution I have is to set up a what's called a detector. Now you can get a detector. Let's grab some fluid from there. You set the detector down, and it always points up. Okay. When you right click on it, you can set it to items or fluids. We're going to set it to fluids, and we're going to set emit signal when above a certain amount. So I think this is in terms of buckets. So I'm going to say 100 buckets and look at 10. Okay. So now that we have that connected, we're going to set this to active without signal, because if this is going to show us a signal when we're above this amount, we could do it the other way around. If it's below 100 blocks, turn on. We could do that. We could do that and then set this back to active with signal. So right now it's off, and if we ever dropped below 100 buckets, it would turn back on. We could do that. That's fine. That way it's not so backwards. And that's a really cool solution, right? So now we have a way of, we have one of the problems fixed. So where when I have more than 100 buckets of molten tin, this is not going to operate. That could be millibuckets. I might have to change this to 100,000. We will see. I'm not sure. I think it is millibuckets. So right now, that's never going to work. But it's okay. We don't want it to work right now. We've got more than enough tin. I'll just manage that and then bring you back in once we drop below that, because I will do that. Okay, so we're going to take this tin over to our smeltery and just turn it into all of the ingots that we can make out of it. So in the meantime, I'm going to stick a block of dirt there, and this is only working on one cow. I've decided that I have plenty of resources, or can get the resources, to make a single rancher for every cow. And having it set up this way brings the rancher inside, so it'll be sitting here instead of elsewhere. Now what I could do is I could put an importer here. So one of the thoughts that I had was taking this out completely. Here, you know what? Let's just pick you up. That way we don't have to worry about you escaping. We can just work in peace. Alright, so if I were to bring this up here. Oh, okay. We'll just do that. That'll still work. And then let's grab an importer. And set this to be fluids. It can bring those fluids into our system. Well, right now we don't have any way of storing those fluids, so I don't expect this to work. So if I set this to fluids, nothing's going to happen because we have no place for those fluids to go at the moment. The nice part is, though, I can grab covers, and we're going to cover up this importer, right? Just like that, and then I can put like a rail block here and tidy it all up, right? So that could work. The only problem is we don't have any way of getting power to this. We could set our connectors here, but the covers don't work on that. Can't put the cover down. I can put it on top, but that looks goofy, because then we'll have cables running everywhere. The other thought that I had was maybe we use something other than XNet to power our ranchers. And I thought of a really, really cool system that I've used before that I'd like to try out with you. So we're going to keep this cow in our golden lasso, and we're going to fly over home to our house and make a couple of these fancy systems. They're pretty cool, I think, actually. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at actual additions for our answer. Also, the first thing we're going to do is I made fluid storage pieces. Okay, this is the recipe for these are really easy, especially if you've got a pattern. If you got pattern grid, okay. So you just come down here. 64 is actually the start of the fluid. It's the lowest. I think it's 1,000. I think it's in millibuckets, right? So this only stores 64 buckets, and then it goes up from there. So this 4,000 buckets, craziness. That's okay though. Remember the way that RF or refined storage stores items is in a per item basis. So this is 142,000 items, not necessarily in any specific order. So I'm going to make another disk drive. I've got one. Perfect. And I'm going to set it down here. And we're going to make some fluid storage. Never mind this here. 60. So I've made all the way up, you know, and we're going to need some glass that I prepared ahead of time. It's almost like I planned it out or something. Okay, there we go. So that's going to make that, and this will let us store 4,000 buckets of fluid. Now, if we look at this, remember, I don't know if you remember me having a hard time figuring out how to access the fluids in here. Basically, as long as there's a bucket in your inventory or in the system's inventory, all you got to do is left click on it. I lie. Bucket. Give me. Oh. I'm out of buckets? Where'd all my buckets go? Okay. Okay, so now we have a bucket. I can click on this and it gives me that bucket. And then all I got to do is just left click. Put it back in. Now it won't go back in because now it's storing the tin. Okay, well we'll take all the tin back out. That's not what I wanted to happen. I'm going to put the iron back in. So once this is done crafting, we will be able to store our fluids in here rather than in our cow farm out here. And I think that is going to be better for me because I can control how many buckets we're keeping through our emitter here and our detector, and turn off the collection of that fluid once it's done. So I'm actually going to disconnect these for now. That way we can't see what's in any of those systems anymore. Okay. I don't want the fluid storage to be out there anymore. I want it to be back in our main storage system. Okay, how are you doing over here? Okay, cooking a lot of stuff. Now we have no fluids, right? And I can't put any fluid in here because we have nowhere for it to go. That's fine. I think for the time being, I'm just going to stick these in here. And then we can always collect that later. Okay. How are we doing? Oh, we're making the pieces from scratch. Okay. So that'll be a little bit before that's ready. But the next thing I want to work on while we're processing that is our power distribution system. Okay, so currently up until this point we've been using XNet for everything. For power, for items, for fluids, even for redstone. Actually, Additions gives us another option for power storage, and it's called the Energy Laser Relay. So we're going to make that, and then we're also going to make what's called the laser wrench. Okay, so we're gonna put that in the, I thought we're gonna need one of these. Do I have any of those? No, I don't. Okay. There we go. Okay, now I'm gonna make some of those lasers. Let's just do one crafting session of it, so that's 4 of them that we're gonna get. And we're going to head over to back to the barn while that fluid storage is crafting. And we're going to set this up kind of anywhere we want, really. So where's the middle? I'm going to get a laser relay, and it's going to be right there. And then our side is going to be over here. And I wonder if you can do this to multiple laser relays. We're going to find out. Just for now, let's put this above. Set this to out. And that should give our laser here some power. Right? Okay, so we're going to hold a compass to modify. Oh. Yeah, so we're going to connect those, and now this should have power. It does. And can I connect to multiple? I can. Perfect. So I would like this laser relay to connect to multiple cows. I think there's a limit on how much this can work, but that could be an interesting, I think that could be kind of a cool way to do power. So if I were to put this cow back in here, where's he at? He's right here. Okay, and let's grab another stone. Chiseled stone. Okay, put our cow back in here. And set once we get our fluid storage, we should see whether that's in buckets or millibuckets, because I don't have any tin in our system at the moment. Are you done yet? Sweet. Okay, so here's our 4K storage. And we're going to stick that in there and see if we get any tin. Nope. So I'm fairly certain that our fluid cow here is ready to milk. Nope. Okay, so it's going to be a little bit before we see whether this is in millibuckets or not. And I wonder if there's a fluid monitor that I could grab from here, like a wireless fluid grid. That'd be cool. Oh, I think there is actually. I hear you. I heard you. Freaked me out. I thought you were a creeper. I was about to rage on camera. Okay, are you milkable yet? You are now. And it did milk, so that means that this is in buckets. So now we should have a single bucket in our system. So if I come over here, and if I put 100 of these buckets, I'm gonna not do that on camera. If I put 100 of these buckets into here, that should I'll just have to do it the other way. That should turn that off, right? So I'm going to cut here, fill that up with 100 buckets of fluid, and then go see if it milks it, okay? I'll be right back. Okay, now we have 104 buckets of molten tin. Let's fly over here and hope that this guy is ready to be milked and won't be. Okay, let's pick this up. I'll just jump in here with you. So 23 seconds, excuse me, we'll find out and see if this guy will be milked. Should not be. That's the hope. If we hear a milking sound, we failed. Here we go. Not milked. Okay, so that is 100% for sure that this is set in buckets, not millibuckets. So don't set that to 100,000 because you'll never... So now we have an automated thing, okay? So now that he's ready to be milked, let's go take out 5 buckets, bring us down below 100, which should bring us back up to 100, correct? So take out... So now we're at 100 here. He should not be milked and isn't. Once we take this out, he should be milked. And that should go back up to 100. Come on. No! Uh-huh. Okay. So he's still ready to be milked? Yes? Yep. Okay. And this is set to 100. Emit a signal when under 100 buckets. Maybe it is millibuckets. So if I put another 0 here, will it get milked? Nope. Nope. Now he's milked. It is millibuckets. Holy cow. Okay. All right. Well, that solves that definitively. I don't know why it worked in the first place, right? Oh, because 0 is below 100, so it would milk it once. Okay, that makes sense. Man, sometimes I swear I finished college. All right, so that is millibuckets. And if I were to take this out, it would milk it again in like 3.5 minutes, whatever. So now we can manipulate this tin, right? So we can come over here and we can dump all of this tin into here via our... Oh, I can't reach over here. Can I reach over here? Okay, so fluid, import stuff. We did this once before where we pulled it out of here and put it straight into our system. That should be filling up. And then, here we'll just put all that in there. And then we could just turn it into blocks, right? So our 10. So now we've got, I mean, this is going to take probably overnight again to work. But at the same time, we can set up a system similar to that for every cow that we want, right? In fact, we could set up, let's just grab a rancher. Let's set up one for our iron. And that's taking a while. Holy cow. There we go. We're going to grab an importer, because we already have something there, right? I'm going to grab a golden lasso too, so I can pull up my iron cow and not have worry about him running away. Okay, and we've got the cables already there, but just in case, I'm going to grab a couple more cables. And by a couple, I mean a lot. And a detector, right? So we've got to have the detector come underground or underneath the block. And we're also going to need a laser relay. You have to let me know what you think about these lasers. We're going to need a couple more. And we'll take we're going to take XNet out of the picture altogether for the fluid cows, I think. So that way we won't have to have refined storage running all over the place, and XNet. That was kind of complicated. Okay, what was the other thing I was needing? Oh, detector, right. Okay, that's done. We can make all of this over there too. We've got the wireless transmitters. So let's set up one for, we'll just take all this out. Where we can use this power here. Nope. I want you right there. Okay, and then I want a power emitter there. I think I threw away my wrench. Laser. There we go. Okay, so this is the iron, the iron cow here, right? Yep, molten iron. We'll pick him up. Get rid of all of this stuff because we don't need it anymore. And we'll bring have to come through here and just get rid of all of this stuff. Okay. All right. So we're going to put the emitter right underneath. So right here. And then we're going to bring the cable over and up. Okay. I don't know if that necessarily right there. So put the rancher right on top of there. And this is going to be, put this down. And grab us a bucket. And we're going to pull out a bucket of iron. Actually, all of the iron that we have. And set this to 100,000 millibuckets of, actually, no, it's got to be fluid. Of fluid. And we're going to say, well, below that amount, emit a redstone signal. So now we've got a redstone power 15. I don't know if you see that over there in the corner. And then we're going to set this to work on redstone signal. Okay. We're going to stick our importer here, set it to fluids, and it's just going to pull out all the fluids. So now we've got some covers here. We'll put the covers on and put our cow back in. We'll put a laser relay on top of that. Right click up here, right click down here, and now we should be milking this cow. Oh, you know what we also need? We need, I forgot, the range add-on to make it so that they can see the full 3 blocks. So the cool part with this system is I don't have to run power necessarily all over the place. I just have to set up a power main system, and from there I can disperse it everywhere else. So I think we'll probably do that. I don't mind making a bunch of power cells. I was originally going to have one power cell and just kind of feed all of the power. So we could come up. Where are my tools? Why did they get set way up there? I could come up here, you know, and set a central power, and just run. Because this, I could put connectors on top of this, right, and run power all over the place. That's possible. I could do that if we run into like lag issues or something. I don't know that that will ever be a problem, but we could do that. The more of these we have, the bigger bank that we have of power. So that's a pro of making multiple power cells. It may also increase the cost of running those power cells, but I'm not necessarily worried about that. In fact, I've been really interested in expanding our power yet once more. Chiseled cobble. There we go. There we go. And, you know, oh, that's not going to reach way over here. Let's move you to above this one. There we go. And we'll set the power, the laser relay back up there and reconnect it. Just right click and then right click and it should work. All right, so now we have another interesting way. So it solves all 3 of our problems, right? So we will not ever get more than 100 buckets of iron, which translates into 600 ingots. And anytime that we need to, anytime we need an ingot or something, we can call on that fluid to export into our smeltery, which we will cover in tomorrow's episode because we're filling it up with tin right now, and we're going to make it so that we don't need tin for a long time. But I definitely want to set up a system in the Tinker Smeltery where I can select a specific fluid, like, you know, a tin is a great example because we need a lot of tin for the bees. I want to be able to come over here and select a specific fluid, and then it will pull from our refined storage into here until it's empty, and we can make as many of the nuggets as we want. Wow, that drained fairly quickly. 45 blocks. Wow, I thought that'd need to run overnight. That's impressive. Okay, well, anyway, we're gonna have more tin than we know what to do with, which is good. That means we can progress in bees rather quickly, and also having the fluid cow set up like this lets us progress in other mods fairly easily too. So I think that's going to be it for today. I will be right back. Gonna go check this. Gonna go check the time. So I think that is actually going to be it. I realized that the video is just over 30 minutes, but that's going to be a nice little package where we looked specifically at the fluid cows, and if you need that information again, you can come back and take a look at that. It's just in one episode, so I won't drag this episode out any further. I hope you guys enjoy the video. We'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.